It's Thursday morning. The market sold off huge at open. Gonna break down today the battle that I went through, a little bit of a lesson learned. It's always a battle. I'm gonna go through and kind of break down how just not sticking to the plan, how by not following the plan ruined my entire day here. I should have been able to capitalize. I should have been able to follow the plan and done exactly what I needed to do to make things happen today. But instead, I ended up getting emotional about a trade, ended up getting out early, not letting my trade work out, and in return, ended up just chasing and kind of all over the place with my trades today after that one trade to start not following the plan, not following the rules, and well, just kind of being all over the place. Breaking it down here in this video, so make sure you guys stay tuned. I've had a day. I've had a real serious day here. Very difficult day, to say the least. And it's not even that I've lost a ton of money or anything like that. It's not really that bad. It's just defeating because this morning I had a plan. I went into the market with a plan. I had kind of an overall thesis. I thought like, hey, if this thing can't break above the highs, if it can't break above this 170 area, there's a really good chance this is going to sell, and it's going to sell hard. I'm going to show you kind of why I thought that. And you can see, look at this resistance right along that 170 area. This was yesterday's high. This was the other night's high. We had all this resistance, 170 area, right? And you can see how that 150 area, there was obviously that little bit of support there at the 150s after that. But still, the market opened this morning pretty much right there at that resistance. And this should have been a home run type of day, right? This should have been a type of day where it's just money, money, money. But instead, I got into my head, and as you can see, look at this move here. This drop from the 70s down here to the low of day 105. And you look at this, in hindsight, looking at this, and you're like, oh my gosh, look at the amount of profit I could have made on this, right? You look at it, and it's easy to be, the guy, in hindsight, who looks at this and goes, well, I could have made so much money. And in theory, yeah, you probably should have made a lot of money here, Patrick. But instead, I'm going to break down exactly what I did wrong here. It's almost, it's just like I said, it's more frustrating than anything. It's not even about the P&L or, really anything like that. It has nothing to do with anything about the money or just anything like at all. It has to do with the sheer fact that I just did not execute. I didn't do what I needed to do. What's the point in learning? What's the point in becoming a better trader if you're not going to listen to yourself? You're not going to let these setups happen when they happen. And look at this. So the high 170, and this is what really kind of messed me up, I guess, is this first candle. Can you guys even see this? This first candle, if I zoom in here, first candle of the day, right? First candle of the day, we get this indecision, whatever you want to call that. Up to the 170s, pulled back. I got short right there at the 169 area. And seeing this indecision there, seeing that we didn't really sell that first 3 minutes, we didn't sell off, we kind of just bounced around there, a small profit. I got out basically right here at the 66s, seeing that we were kind of bouncing there. So I got out for a small profit. You can see it then ran all the way down here to the 54s. It found some support there. Now, in theory, right, here, what would I have done? I should have just kind of sat on my hands and waited. But instead, what did we get? We got that confirmation that I was correct in my idea that the market wanted to sell. So we got that confirmation here. And at that point, guess what? I was like, okay, cool, perfect. I ended up getting short here again at the 60s. We pulled all the way down here to the 53s. Great. And I ended up holding some, taking a little bit of profit there at the 55s. But guess what? Guess what happened? It rallies back. I end up getting stopped out right there at the 63 area. And then guess what? It rolls off again and just goes down, down, down. And instead, this is what is amazing here. Again, we got that confirmation. We got that little flag there. I got the confirmation. It sells off. At that point, I'm like, are you kidding me right now? Are you kidding me, right? Are you literally kidding me at this point? And that's what I'm telling myself. Am I kidding myself at that point, seeing how much this thing has sold off since then? So I missed the short here. I got out for a small loss. I took a small profit there. Took a little bit of profit there, but got stopped out on that move. Pushing back up there. It sells off. In theory, am sitting here like, okay, well, look, we got a little bit of support there, 150 area. Maybe this wants to push back up here, 160s. I get long in this area, this little choppy area there. Get long here at the 150s. It just dumps. It just dumps so hard from that point on. It ended up dumping from the 150s down here to the 110s. I ended up getting stopped out there pretty quick on that move, but I did not reshort. I did not short this entire move here. I did not short it because, again, I was just like, are you kidding me? So this mental aspect of basically me second-guessing myself here at 9:30 when the market opened, this ruined the entire day here. And I don't even know what my drawing is showing here other than the fact that this one candle, that one move right there, ruined my entire game plan because I was trying to get short here, didn't ride that momentum. I tried to get short into this area, got stopped out, and at that point I'm like, well, I'm just going to wait for something to really show up here. And again, we get this sell off, we get a little bounce. I was like, at that point, okay, let me get a little long there. So I basically screwed up my entire thought process by trying. I basically screwed up my entire thought process. What's amazing here, like I said, is I screwed up my entire thought process because right here, I did not let the trade do what it needed to do. I short here at that 70 area. I put my stop right up there above that resistance, which beautiful idea, right? Short here, stop there, risking 3 to 4 handles. Small risk, very small risk here. Very small risk. And look at that downside. Look at that downside. Almost 70 handles. Now, obviously, I'm not saying I would have gotten that full move there because clearly I didn't. But by me not following the plan, by me not letting this trade do what it needed to do there at the 170 area, by me not letting this trade do exactly what it needed to do with the overall plan, I ended up not being able to, I ended up just overall psyching myself out today, and in theory here, basically ruining my entire day over 3 handles. Over 3 handles there. Because at that point, it just threw me off, and I was kind of just trying to pick the bottom, trying to pick the top. Instead, nailing the top here on this trade, nailing it, obviously in hindsight now, but in general, my stop, I had a 3-handle stop for a, 10-handle move to the downside? Great risk to reward. But I got out of the trade early. I did not let the trade do its thing. I didn't let it work. I didn't let it figure out which way it wanted to go and just kind of let it ride, Put the stop in place, figure out my risk to reward, let that trade do what it needed to do. I didn't do that. So instead of me taking profit like I should have, I got out early, and then I was just chasing this whole entire move on the way down, just chasing it, and barely making any profit, and ending up, just screwing myself because of one trade, because of me not following the trade, not letting that stop loss do what it needed to do. And that's the most frustrating part about today is obviously it's 1:30 now, and I'm sitting here like, man, This is the type of action, this is the type of move, Patrick, that you got to capitalize on. You've got to be able to hammer these types of moves. And like I said, the bad part about this is I clearly was able to identify, hey, where's that resistance at? We've had resistance, 170 area, for quite some time. We were at that resistance. We had a little support there, 130s, but we were like, hey, look at that. Resistance all in that area. This was a short all day long. Like I said, pre-market had that game plan, had that idea, did not execute it, and instead of executing the trade, letting the trade work out, well, I ended up executing it, but instead of me, letting this trade do what it needed to do and get the move that we were looking for, instead, I ended up getting out for a very small profit and then just kind of getting into this weird, like, let me chase all the way down. So this all goes back to the idea, like I said the other day, about letting a trade do its thing. If I'm in a trade, if I'm taking a trade, I've got my risk to reward, I need to let that trade work. I need to let it do its thing. I'm risking what? 3 handles here. 3 handles. It's mind-blowing. Like I said, it's more defeating than anything at all. It doesn't come down to the money or anything like that. It's just the defeating part that I had a beautiful, beautiful setup here. Just beautiful, textbook, amazing, great setup here, and did not capitalize. Did not capitalize off of that move. This type of setup we've seen over and over and over. We've seen this setup so many times, but instead ended up getting out for a small profit and then watch the market go exactly in the direction that I was looking for. So it's emotions, man. It's not about, you're not going to be a bad day trader because you don't know how to buy and sell. You don't know the support, the resistance. The issue here is always, it's the emotional battle. It's just this constant emotional battle of holding your winners, cutting off your losers, and battling the market. Being able to get in, get out, take your profit, and walk away. Today was a prime example of doing exactly the opposite of that. Not following the plan, not letting my stop do its thing. What's the point in having a stop if you're not going to let that stop get hit here on this trade? If I'm going to jump in and be like, all of a sudden, oh, it's bouncing, I'm going to get out. What's the point in even entering the trade in the first place? So that's my little bit of lesson learned today for you guys. So hopefully somebody else out there watches this video and, maybe you're going through the same thing that I'm going through right now. It's a constant battle, trusting yourself, relying on the process, relying on the idea that, at the end of the day, we're battling out here. We got to control our emotions. We got to keep them in check. Keep those emotions in check, letting these trades work out and do exactly what they need to do to take the profit that we have and look for opportunities today. Beautiful opportunity, not capitalizing, not following the plan, and paying the price. So if you guys haven't already, do me one big favor, hit that like button, the subscribe button, all the buttons down below. I will talk to you guys later on.